we're going to do one of my favourites now, and I really like this one. This is the birthday surprise, so I'm going to try and open it as easily as I can. You can just slide these doors open, and then you can close them, and you've got like this little scene going on, you see, so it opens up and then it closes. It's very clever, isn't it? Now we're not going to do all the embellishing bits. I'm going to talk you through the mechanism. So you've got a cutting list, but again, do them one at a time. Cut the back. So this is the card back. All right, I've written back on, so I remembered which one it was. Cut the left side. Fold the long tab score line as a valley fold. So this one here is going to be a valley fold. And line the perforation line up to the guideline on the back. So you're then going to put glue onto that tab, and you're going to glue that in place. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put glue on this tab. Just checking the time so we don't run over on the 30 minutes, because it shouldn't take us 30 minutes to do this, but you never know. Right, so long perforation line. I'm going to line it up. This is going on the left side, remember. I'm going to line it up with those two little guidelines on your card back. All right, so you're going to line it up so that the tab faces in, and the perforation line here is lined up on those guidelines at the top and the bottom. All right, like that. Cut the right side and repeat step 2, lining up the guidelines on the right hand side of the back. So we're going to fold that. We're going to put glue on there. And we are going to stick this on the right hand side of the back, lining the perforation up with the guidelines. So I find it easier to turn my card this way. So I can hold my side and I can position it against the guideline at the bottom and the guideline at the top, like so. Okay, and then press that down firmly. And then we're going to set that to one side to dry. Okay, so we're going to pop that over there. Right, I'm going to jump in my steps just because I need that to dry a bit before I do the next bit, to this bit. Okay, so this is the front pocket. And at the beginning I was thinking, why have they called it a pocket? It'll make sense when I start to fold this for you. So let me just grab my next part of the instructions. So I'm going to skip the bit where I put the seams in because I need that to be a little bit dry before I start to try and put seams in. And I'm going to jump to step 9 now. So you'll have your 2 doors, and there are several options of the mats that go on here. So there's several different patterns of the mats. Okay, but these are your 2 doors. Whenever you're working with your doors, you need to make sure that these extended bits are in, so the doors are kind of closed, if you like, for this bit. So I'm going to pop my doors to one side, and we're going to start work on this bit. So you've got a score line that goes across here, you've got a score line that creates these little tabs, and you've got exactly the same at the bottom. So you're going to fold this forward, all right? And then you're going to fold your tabs in, like this, and then fold them out again. All right, so we're just going to reinforce those score lines on here like that. Okay, now the best way to do this I found was to put your doors in place now. So you're not gluing them in, you're not putting any glue near those doors. You're going to put those into there like that, and then you're going to fold the tabs over like that. Okay, let me just check that that is correct because it's a while since I did this one. So let me have a look at the back of this pocket. Bear with while I just sort myself out. Right, yeah, that's right. So you're going to fold these over. You're not going to put any glue on any of those tabs underneath, okay? So all this is just going to stand like that, okay? Then you've got this piece, and this is the bit that's going to stick on top of there. So it leaves the doors so that they're not glued and they can open, all right? But I do it with my doors in situ because I find that makes it easier rather than trying to slot the doors in afterwards, which was going to be a faff. I was like, no, I'm going to do it logically like this. So we are going to put glue on these tabs at the top here. And we're going to put glue on the other side tab. And we're going to put glue across that top edge, down across the tab, like that. And I make sure you put plenty of glue in this because this is going to hold the mechanism together. And then we're going to do exactly the same on this bottom edge, okay? So we're going to put glue, along that bottom edge, which I know you can't see, but I have to do it this way, otherwise I'm going to get glue all over my jumper because I'll lean across, forget that it's sticky, and ruin yet another jumper. Right, so I've now got glue there. So I'm now going to take my front pocket piece and I'm going to start by, at the bottom here, just lining it up to the bottom edge like that, and then I can fold that over and make sure that the tabs tuck in on the sides. So you're positioning that on there like that, so you're pushing that in, and then you're going to press that down firmly, making sure that your doors are still closed, okay, and they're lined up to the edges, and then you're just going to push the inside bits, the tabs at the top, in like that, and then make sure that it's lined up perfectly on the sides and at the top, okay? That's the trickiest bit I found. But then, because you haven't put any glue, your doors, when you get them straight, will open and shut like that, okay? Now, until this is stuck down, and until the glue's dried, they're going to want to try and pop out. So do yourself a favour and don't do what I do. Be a bit more patient. Keep the doors shut until everything's dry, and then make sure that that's pressed down firmly. All right, so you're going to make sure that that's all stuck down and completely dry. That is really, really, really important. Okay, so that is going to go to one side. We're going to come back. Now these won't be perfectly dry, but they'll be as good as we're going to get them in the time that we've got. So you've then got scenes, and these little straps are called the scenes. You've got 3 of them in different widths, different depths, and your embellishments. So on mine, I've got the banner at the top on scene 1. I've got the birthday cake in the middle of scene 2, and I've got the present stack that I've built up in the middle of scene 3. So if I open that up, you'll see you've got the banner at the back at the top here, you've got the birthday cake, and then you've got the presents. All right. Now this is a little bit tricky because you've got to get these slots inside these slits here. So you're going to feed that in, and if you need to, you can cut a little bit off, but don't be too zealous. I've fed that one through and it fits quite well. And then this one, now I worked this out. I think if I put the top one in first, so if I put the slot up first, it slid in better. So let me do the same on scene 2. So actually scene 3 is going to go in next. So that's going to go, if I do the top, now if I do the bottom on this one, I think it was, then the top one, and this might have been the one that I had to trim off a little bit because it was a little bit too big, but I'm going to do that again if I can find my scissors. See, this is what happens, scissors, here we go. Just trim it off so it's straight on the end. Don't go too much because otherwise it will want to feed back through, and just push it through that slit. Go on, you know you want to. Just in there, there we go. Once you've got one side in, you can then get the next side in. So push it down. I'm going to snip the little bit off, and I think it was only seam 3 that I needed to do this on. So I'm going to go down like that, in and then up. And those slots on the side are going to stop the card, or stop these seams from moving out, okay? And then seam 2, I'm going to go in with the bottom first. That one pushes through quite comfortably, although it is a little bit tight. But it's amazing how resilient card is, actually. But what you're going to do is you're going to stick your embellishments onto these seams first. Alright, and then you're going to work and put them into here. Right, so we now have our seam. Okay, now when I did mine, I bent the tabs so that these tabs here, these extra tabs, bent backwards, I think. Let me just check, because Ella did it a different way to me. Oh no, I had mine going in. Ella had hers. Let me just make sure that that's right. Yeah, I bent mine in. Ella said to bend them out. So I'm going to try Ella's way this time, and then I'll tell you which is the easiest, because Ella designed it. So it should be right. Now, I think if they're going out, you have to open out the doors first on this part, which might not be too easy because mine isn't dry, and stick the back of the door, so the door with the long piece, the bit that's tucked under here. So remember, when we cut the doors, we had the extended edge on the inside. You're going to stick that to the tab to the door, okay? So that when you then close the card down, it should slide. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. I'm actually going to do it my way, and that's no disrespect to Ella at all, but I know that this way works. And I'm a bit scared of doing all that and then getting it wrong and have to go cut it all and video it all again, because I've already made a couple of errors, maybe, shall we say? So we are going to close the doors, because this is the way that I found it easier to do it. And remember, this is going to be a little bit wobbly at the moment because not everything's glued down, so I'm being a little bit more careful than I would be normally. I'd normally just be going at it, but right, come on, I need to get these in here. That's it. Takes a little bit of manipulation. I stuck this to the back of here, so I put glue here on either side of that little scallop bit, and I stuck it to the tab. So I literally put glue around here and around there, avoiding the doors, of course, and then I stuck that to the tab because I found that that worked for me. Now Ella's saying I should do it the other way, so maybe I should do it the other way, and I'll try it and I'll let you know, but I think this works better just because I've done it before and I know it opens the doors open. So I'm going to open that up and put the glue on there. I'm going to have to turn it around to face me, I'm sorry, just because otherwise I can't see it. If I can't see what I'm doing, I can't do it, can I? So I'm going to fold that on there like that. In there, I'm going to fold that over to press it down, and it's much easier if you let that side then dry. And then you're going to do the same, so you're going to put glue on here. So you're going to open that up and put glue around here. And then you're going to position that on that tab. Okay, so I'm going to pull the tab out so it's in line with, I'm going to line it up so that it's straight like that, and then you're going to have to really get your hands inside it and let that tab dry. Or if you stand it up like that, you can actually see it, which makes it much easier. Do you know, sometimes I do wonder. Right, so let me just get my doors out of the way like that, and then I can manipulate this in place. This is the tricky bit, and I'm trying to work with everything wet, and that's not a good idea. So I'm lining the bottom of the tab to where the opening of the actual frame is. And again, as I said, you're going to be doing this with all the bits dry, which will make it a million times easier to do than doing it like this. I've got my thumbs right inside now, can you see? Just trying to get this tab to stick down for me. I'll need a little bit more glue under there. And then glue that in place. Right, I'm going to let that dry. And I also need to make sure it's central. Peel that off and make sure that it's central. So you need to make sure that this part is level at the top and the bottom. And then you're going to fold that in and position that. Make sure that you've got it in the right place here so it doesn't stick to the doors. Like that. It's always tricky, isn't it, when you're sticking something inside something because you can't see, you can't get to it. There we go, like that. So you can then fold that over and that will fold flat. Once you've got it level, you can then fold the box over and then, again, wait for it to dry. Your doors, make sure that they're parallel, will open up and slide backwards. It's not the smoothest of mechanisms, but it does work. Once you, can you see, once you try and pull one door at a time, it's much easier than trying to do both of them. And if you find that it's really sticking, so just cut a little bit of that tab off because that's what's stopping it moving. It's just the tab that's inside. So just, again, because I haven't stuck it down and it's not dry, completely flat, I would put a weight on top of it just to make sure. Right, I'm not going to be beaten by a piece of card, so just got to get it level, that's the thing. So then the door slides backwards and forwards like that. Okay, and then it's making sure that it's level that's the key to making those doors open. So you'll end up with your scene that once it's dry, it's not even glued, it's not even sticking with the glue at the moment. So I'm going to go to the one that I've already done. Sorry, I made that look really difficult and it's really not, but you have to let your layers dry because you're trying to manipulate card that's moving, and that's not a good idea. So once you've got it dry, you can then, when the card folds down, the doors will shut, and when when you open the doors, the card will pop open. Can you see? So when you fold the card, you can push in from here if you want to, and those doors will then slide in like that and close your card. And then when you pull the doors from these little scallops at the side, they will then slide open and reveal what's inside. So it's a great mechanism. It's not the smoothest until you've let all your layers dry, and once you've actually got your mats and layers on it and it's sturdier, it's easier. So you can see then you can fold it in, and if I do it this way, if I show you at the back, when I open the doors, can you see how the back moves forward or moves away from you, and then when I close it, it just pops in like that, look. It's clever, isn't it? It's one of those that you need to do all the mats and layers to give it that rigidity, and you need to let the layers dry. But I think that's really cool. So have a go. If you get stuck, you know how to get hold of me. I'll be on either Twitter or Instagram, or you can ring the office and speak to one of the girls and they'll help you out too. But I think once you've got all your layers on and it's all dry, you'll find it much easier to put together. So that's that project. I'm going to clear down, get ready for the next.